Are you ready to talk about Battle of the Year? So, Battle of the Year is a dance movie. Like, dance. That is what everything in the movie is about. And I am a lover of dance movies, so this is amazing. And it's a movie on hip hop. So, not just any dance, but hip hop. B-boying, which I don't know anything about that, so don't test me on it, please. But um, from what I've seen in this movie, it's impressive. Like seriously impressive. So the movie has a lot of um I wouldn't say cliche, but things you hear more often, kind of quotes. But it also got its own little bits that are just, that keep coming back, and that's why they hit home. They hit home for the guys in the movie, for them becoming a team. Like, there's no I in team, but the coach takes it far. He is like, there's no I in team, so if anybody here now or any day says I, that is 100 push-ups for the entire team. So everybody starts to talk from we, but it's very interesting, right? When you start to talk from a point of we, you get this different dynamic in the way you talk. And I mean, there are some very funny moments where saying we sounds very strange. Like when one guy gets there too late and he's like, we. And he says, he says kind of like had to go to the toilet, but a little differently. And it just makes me laugh because then it sounds really strange. I'm not gonna lie, it sounds a bit weird. But yeah, so the movie starts. Basically, the US team hasn't won in, I think it was like 14 years on the World Championship, even though they started b-boying. So so this guy, Dante, wants to bring it back to life. So he goes to WB, which is Blake, and asks him to do it. And I mean, he said a line. He said, "I made a life out of the only difference between you and me is that I made a life out of opening doors and you made one out of closing them." Because Blake is basically living in his own prison, his own prison cell that he created. No daylight, only drinking. Nothing is left. And I mean, he became a broken man. I know that's hard to say, but he lost his wife and his kid in a car accident, and then that kind of broke him. He gave up on life. He also says that in the end of the movie. I lost my family and I gave up on life. But then he decides that he wants to coach them. He says yes to Dante's offer. And he says that he wants he does it on two conditions. One, Franklin as his assistant coach, who I love Franklin. Franklin is so funny and very direct. And he's like, Franklin, with a Y. With a Y. And then every single time somebody's like, I don't even know your name. And he's like, seriously? I really like Franklin. So the second thing that Blake wants is, he says, if I do it, I'm going to do it my own way. And then Dante's like, that's all? I was literally there like, you have no idea what that means. Doing it your own way means you have full control. That means, Dante, that you have no control. So you don't even realize the trust you're putting in this guy. Which, I mean, he trusts him because it's his friend and like, basically like family to him. And they've known each other for so long. And, I mean, it makes sense that he trusts him. But at the same time, it's like, okay, there you go. So then we hear, when Dante talks to Franklin, we hear a little bit of the backstory of WB, which is what they call Blake, which is white bread, but turned into Wonder Bread. Because he was the only, I think it was like he was the only white dude in the crew, and he was the one who unified the crew. He was this foster kid who came from Georgia and unified the crew. And Dante says that Blake knows how to bring people together. So that's basically what we're gonna see. Dante tells Franklin that he lost his wife and son in a car accident, and then we see Blake look in the mirror and say this thing that he repeats a lot during the movie: change how you think, change your life. And there is something so profound about this little sentence, that the way you think and your mental situation, like your mindset, your mental state, what you let into your head, everything depends on it. You can be the best dancer, the best choreographer, the best writer, the best anything in the world. But if your head is not put on right, like if your mind is not working with the rest of you, if you're looking at everything from a negative point of view, it's not working. There's something wrong. There's a screw loose. There's like it's not right. Like the mental game is everything in life. You can get so much further if you got your head screwed on right. And Blake also says, like, to the team that was there, like the LA, I think it was like LA's finest, that was there, he said, like, there is a difference between winning and just not losing. So he cuts the whole team and he's like, let's set up a new one. Which, that made me so happy, because this is what I meant when I said, like, Dante, you don't even know. But Dante trusts him still. He still listens to Blake, even though the planet's reckless. So then we go to the first show where they're gonna pick the guys, and Dante looks at Blake, and Blake trusts Franklin a lot. Like, it impresses me, because he puts a lot of trust in this guy who, has a big influence on the choices they make. And what I just wanted to say, one of the presenters is the guy from Think Like a Man 1 and 2. I looked it up. In the movie, they call him, what was it? Terrence G, which is actually his real name. So I got so confused. Do actors actually play with their real name in a movie sometimes? Is that a thing? I thought that was not a thing, because they didn't want to... I don't know. In my head, actors didn't do that because they didn't want to be their character. Because if your name and your character have the same name, you are the character. You are not playing a character, you are the character. I don't know. It was just a bit confusing to me. So I was wondering about that. So when they ask, like, why do you want to be a b-boy? Why do you do breaking? They all come up with these answers that are like, it is everything to me. It is so important to me. It's my life. It's, and it shows that if you have this passion and it is your love and it's everything to you, that matters, because then you go all in, right? Like, it's not like, hey, I'm great at this, I want to show it off. It's like, no. This thing saved me when I was just drowning in life. This thing got me through everything. This is the one thing I had. Like, it is so important. It is not just a side hustle or a hobby. It is a way of life to these guys. And that shows the difference between somebody who is, who is going to go all in, and somebody who's just not. So the final Dreams End, they select 22 guys. They have to bring it down to 13. The coach says, like, every Friday, one person's going to get cut. The next day is Friday, so one person's going to get cut after one day. And the guys are like, what is happening here? So they cut into 2 teams, 2 captains. And the right kind of pressure makes a team. That's what Blake says. The right kind of pressure makes a team. So Blake cuts the best guy of the team, And that shows that the best team doesn't mean the single best player. You don't need it to have the best team. Because a team has to work together, and the person who plays the very, very best might be the person who is too, fed up with, or too full of himself to ever let anybody else shine, which makes a terrible team. If you want to go and you want to win at a team sport, which hip hop, b-boying is a team sport. If you want to win at a team sport, you gotta be a team. You gotta cut out all the people who cannot work together. You gotta cut them out, even if they're the best. And Blake shows that. And even the presenters said that on the TV as Blake was watching the TV. They said the US crew needs to get together as a crew and get over that ego problem that they have. They have the ego problem even in the crew, which is why they don't let each other, take dance and help each other out. And that is why it's so important to have the right coach. Because the right coach is everything, and he knows who to cut and who to keep. So there's this little argument I just wanted to point out, the whistle argument, where Franklin's like, but this is my assistant coach whistle. and Blake's like, no, give it to me. And then I don't know, the whole argument, can I say no from Franklin? It just made me laugh. So Blake said something that I also hear a lot from Gary Vaynerchuk, which is something I love, and it is, there are two ways to have the tallest building in the world, or Gary says there are two ways to build the tallest building in town. One, you build yourself the tallest building in town. Or two, you take down everybody else's building. And Blake says the right way to do it is to build the biggest building in town. So, as I said, he forbids the word I. He cuts the best b-boy. And then he, he starts to coach them. He starts to teach them, and there are all these little things like Coach trusting Franklin with finding the best choreographer. Like Franklin telling Coach that he looks like a gazelle running, like a gazelle with arthritis, and Coach and Franklin comes to the coach to say thank you. He thanks Coach for taking him in and teaching him, and Coach tells the guys, he's like sport can be an art. It's not just sport or art. Like dancing is not sport or art. It's both. Sport can be an art. If you see the best doing their sport, it's art. You're watching art. And that is so important to remember. Like, it's not one or the other. It's both. So then the best choreographer that Franklin brings in is Stacy. And Stacy is confident. Oh my goodness, that woman is amazing. And she sets the guy straight, like, right away. So there are two guys, Rooster and Dunok, who fell for the same girl, and keep fighting over that until the point where they realize that they both don't have this girl anymore, and their friendship is way more important than this girl, which I do agree with. Like, guys, your friendship is more important than some fling. If the girl was the serious relationship of one of the two guys, I would get it. But if she is a fling, you cannot lose your best friend over that. Like, come on. You need to let go of your ego. History is exactly that. A team depends on chemistry. And then what Coach says, that it's not about them getting along, but it's about the team pushing each other to greatness. Them getting along is a bonus. And then like, oh, this movie is just filled with so many amazing things. Like, I could just ramble and ramble on it. But then there's the US versus Russia, and the Russians are a real team. You can see it. They work together. They all like tie each other up into a, like, not tie each other up, but like become one big pile of people and like build up and are all doing it together. It's amazing to see. And then the US, which they call it the US of A, which I think that is a really cool way to say the United States of America. Um, and then they lose because they stop acting like a team. And then Frankie gets really mad and he's like, real talk, like, guys, no. This is not the way we do it. We lost because of you two. You gotta figure it out with the two of you. And they fight over Lauren for no good reason. Like, the woman is called Lauren. And then in the end they make up. Not there and there, but in another scene later on they make up. They yell at each other, they get everything out. They're like, God, like, winning is more important, you're more important. I'm not even together with her. I wasn't together with her when you got with her. So, but it was just fun to get you mad, or easy to get you mad this way. But it's over. She's not that, like, she's not in my life. She's not in your life. So what are we doing? I want to win. And it's like, yeah, that's how you fix it. You gotta be freaking honest with each other. And then you win together. And then they go to get Coach, and they're like, Coach, you're late. And I was like, are they gonna make him do 100 push-ups? But yeah, you see them grow over the course of the movie. You see them grow as a team, and oh, there's so many things they say. It's like success is a choice, which is partially true, and a bit of luck, in my opinion. But they don't say that. The mental game is key. The only thing permanent in this world is change. I mean, can you just make all the quote pictures already? And there are these little bits, like this guy that keeps running through this fence at night, who turns out to have a kid and a girl. He has a family, and he wants to take care of his family, and he tells Coach, he's like, I can't, like, Coach follows him one night when he sees it, and he's like, I can't drop my family, but please don't do this to me. If, like, don't cut me because of this. Cut me if I'm not good enough. Like, give me a fair shot. And I mean, the kid is just beautiful, but then Coach also comforts the baby, Alina, her name is, and talks about his little boy, and he when he realizes that, it kind of shows him that he's slowly working through it. He stops drinking alcohol. He takes care of himself a bit more, and he kind of gets up, He wakes up into the real life, and it's good for him. And there also, like, there was one guy picking the other up, and the coach saw it. I think it was, Adonis picked Sniper up, where Sniper didn't want to sit at the same table as Adonis in the beginning. And when they get to France, Sniper steps up for Adonis, protecting him from these weird guys who start fighting them. And this is when Franklin, like, when Coach gets really mad, he's like, I'm cutting Sniper. And then everybody's like, then you have to cut me too. And Franklin is to Blake, he says, like, this is what you wanted. You wanted a team? Well, you got one. And then Coach realizes, this is it. And then he asked them, he's like, how does it feel to be a team? And they're like, damn good, Coach, because it does. It feels amazing to be part of a team, to be part of something bigger than yourself. I mean, that is everything. To be part of this group that will always be there for you. It's not just a team or a crew, it's a family. And these boys made him want to be better. Like, he made them better and they made him better. And uh, it's just so beautiful how. So in his final speech, he's I mean they come in second. The US of A comes in second. They lose with 1 point, which is a crappy thing. Losing almost is a crappy thing. I would rather lose like by a long shot than lose by a little bit, because it's really frustrating to lose by 1 point. But the thing is, if you want to be a winner, you have to learn how to lose. And coach says it again. He's like, change how you think, change your life. And he said, my goal was to teach a crew how to be how to be a team. And they became like, you became a family. So win or lose, you've got family, and nothing else matters. And he said, like, you gave me family. I thought I'd lost family forever, and you gave that to me. And then he comes back down to earth. He is like, you think we all did this to come in second? Second sucks. I love that. I was like, there we go. There's the, there is the other side of it. Like, hey, second sucks. We don't want to be second. So we want to be first. So we're going to do this again next year. And then we're going to come in first because that's what we want. So there are a few more little things that I wanted to say on this. First, Stacy reminded me of this amazing woman called Alexis Jones. She was on the Marie Forleo show, and she talked about locker room talk. She talks with athletes about sexual assault, because 1 in 3 women in the US get sexually assaulted, which was a shock for me when I got to North America, because I didn't know it was this crazy. I didn't know you needed in Canada was a constable who could walk you home. I didn't know you needed all these safety poles for your protection. I didn't know it was that bad. But so Stacy reminded me of Alexis Jones, who is also this wonderfully strong woman who knows how to talk with, to these guys, so that they respect her from the get, which they did, because she was awesome. So yeah, if you want to check more out about that, by the way, Marie Forleo, Alexis Jones, Locker Room Talk, they also made a documentary. It's a fascinating must-see for everybody. One thing that broke my heart was Rooster getting hurt, but at the same time, his speech about becoming brothers and then act like champions, be like champions, and his goodbye, it brought me to tears. That was the moment where I was like, no, it's not fair. Yeah. Another thing is that when they walk on stage, they get booed. And then Dunag is like, guys, let's show them. Let's show them how good we are, and that we should not be booed, actually. And that came to me like a little bit of a coach speech, and I love coach speeches. Like, any movie, any game, anything, when you get a speech from a coach, it does something to you. A good coach does these amazing speeches that fires the whole team up and brings them together, and it just works. It clicks. Coaches' speeches, good coaches, their speeches, they click and they stick in your head, and they will get you through hell. And I freaking love it. I am a admirer of coaches from the bottom of my heart, because I have so much respect for that. And when you can do speeches like they can, that is just amazing. Inspire them, bring your team together, grow together. I mean, everything. It's just amazing. and then they dance, and they dance blindfolded, and dancing blindfolded is like the ultimate point of showing that you trust each other. There is no I mean, when it comes to dancing, this is trust. You know, flying through the air, blindfolded, trusting that everybody does their part, everybody will stand in their own spot, and you won't hit anybody and nobody will hit you. So, in the end, they're sitting in this room, and they are one big family, and it made me so happy. So one little thing that I thought was gonna happen was Blake and Stacy. I thought they were I don't know, like, I mean, they were very happy in France, so I thought maybe, I don't know. But there was no romance in this movie, which I actually thought was amazing. Like, first I was like, "Aw, nothing." But then I was like, no, that's good, because that wasn't the point. Like, if they had done it, it would have been too little, there would have not been too much storyline, it wouldn't have been complete, and it wasn't the point. The point wasn't a romantic relationship, the point was family and friendship and brotherhood, and I believe the movie got that across very well. So yeah, I thought the movie was awesome, and I would recommend it a lot. So, let's finish with I'm just gonna finish with this. Change how you think, change your life, and if you want to be a winner, you have to learn how to lose.